I'm camera shy right now myself. In the 1980s, there was a civil rights leader who led a small nonviolent demonstration in a county called Forsyth County. It was the last county in Georgia, and they weren't allowing black people to live there. So one of the civil rights leaders, Hosea Williams, took a small group of people, and you know what the symbol was of the civil rights movement was a donkey and a cart, and they would go do nonviolent demonstrations. So a small band of journalists went up to this area of North Georgia to photograph this nonviolent group. And all of a sudden, over the hillside, we saw about 300 Klan appear out of nowhere in their white robes and hoods, and it was really scary because there was only a few journalists. We didn't know it was going to be turn into such a big event. And so they started pelting us with rocks and stones. And the pictures I took there made into Time magazine. Do you know Time magazine? Mm-hmm. And from there, they organized a very large nonviolent demonstration, which brought in press from around the world. And as a result of that, I met some people from the anti-Klan network, and they asked me if I would do some undercover work for them. Do you know what undercover is? Yeah. So they gave me like a title of I was already shooting for a lot of different news organizations. So we said that I worked for a New York paper, and I went to a bunch of cross burnings around the Georgia area, mainly to document what they were doing, to identify some of the people who were involved in the Klan movement. So that's how I got some of these pictures. They just I just hung out with them. And it was, at first I didn't realize how dangerous it could be, but I've done a lot of dangerous things. And sometimes journalists have to be a little bit fearless in order to get those kind of pictures. But once they kind of started understanding or kind of getting, one guy mentioned, oh, do you work with that guy from the anti-Klan network? That's when I stopped working with them, because then something bad could have happened. But I learned a lot from this experience. What do you think of this mother? She couldn't have been more than 20 years old with her little baby getting ready. This was in Gainesville, Georgia, North Georgia, and they were part of the invisible empire of the Ku Klux Klan. What are your thoughts on that photograph?
I hate it.
Yeah.
You hate it?
Yeah. It was looked like when our Pepsi Zero came out, or Cola Zero, whatever it's called.
Pepsi?
Pepsi Cola.
Oh my God! You know what? I can't. Do you know that I've never even noticed that can?
There's another one there. Yep.
Ooh, that's not a really good ad for Pepsi, is it?
Whoops.
So your eye goes straight to the Pepsi can.
I'm thirsty right now.
You're thirsty right now? What does it say to you about, like, maybe this baby with her young mother, and they're going to kind of, what do you think the Klan represents?
White people.
White people who, what?
Don't like black people.
And don't like Jesus or something.
They don't, well,
No,
they actually think they're working kind of along with Jesus. But, so, Donna. I'm trying to get through. What about this? You know what this kind of represents? This is like the old Klan. The old Klan, when they first started, they wore those long white robes and hoods, and then they would go out and burn people's houses. They don't only opposed to black people, they're also opposed to anyone who's not like them. And that represents more the imagery of the new Klan, which they're dressed in fatigues. You know, yeah, it looks like Hitler. Who's Hitler?
I don't even know.
You know who Hitler is?
I bet you do.
He's the guy that wanted everyone to be blind.
The head of the Nazis.
That's right. Yeah, he was the head of the Nazi party, and yeah, they have kind of the same goal there in discriminating against people who are not perfectly white and perfectly Christian, right? So, what do you think specifically is going on in this image?
Burning a cross.
Yeah, you see them burning the cross back here.
Looks like a whole bunch of army people's there with them too.
Okay, so you see what you think are Army people? What makes you think specifically that
They got the
they're Army?
camouflage and the boots and everything. They got the whole
camouflage.
outfit.
So if anyone puts on camouflage, that means they're in the Army?
It looks like he's in the army because he's like this, and you see the people in the back like they're about to
Yeah, so,
having everybody stand back.
yeah, it looks like they're hurting the crowd back here. That's what you see here? It's like they're pushing them away? Is it his body language that makes you think that they're kind of keeping other people away?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, and then we see back in the background, do you see other,
Yeah.
members of this organization? Okay. But, you know, I will point out, which normally I let you guys just kind of, you know, figure out for yourselves what things are going on. But there are lots of groups in America and probably other cultures and countries that will adopt military attire and military, you know, body movements and positioning and speak and all of those things that kind of go along with military, but that doesn't mean that they are working specifically for, you know, the government. So these guys are not U.S. government military. They are probably militants would be an appropriate word for them. They are adopting those behaviors and that costume, but they are not soldiers protecting, you know, American citizens. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.